corridor, and this is a tree structure that has been a marker here for several years, well, more than that, quite a few years here. I've seen it here. And so today I wanted to come in here and take a look at it. There are good indications behind here that there is a ravine, and I believe there's a cave system, a karst system, that would be a wet and dry cave. And so this would be a marker probably for the alpha male. I've done this for the family, but if you look, these are very large. Here's my boot, size 10 boot. Good size tree breaks here that are stuck into the ground. And then they create this sort of asterisk type structure. And I saw one very similar to this and the other just probably a mile from here along the riparian forest. But I wanted to take a minute to get some good video of this because it's important to see these structures up close and get an idea of the size of them when documenting them and showing that this is not made by nature, by snow load, anything like that. This is actually made by breaking these trees off at the top and then poking these into the ground, these larger. Step back here, really see the totality of it. It's a beautiful structure, and it's been here for a number of years. It has not moved at all. And back behind here is what I believe beginnings of a ravine. Well, I know it's a ravine, and it goes straight back there. You can see the tree line, and within that ravine is a cave karst system. Karst is wet and dry caves. This is like a sandstone, kind of porous type sandstone here in the prairie, and it actually would allow water to create a cave system, and in that cave it would be cool year round. So in the summertime it would be very cool, and then in the winter time it would be about 50 degrees also, which would allow for year-round habitation in these areas. I'm going to shoot a video here shortly too. I just wanted to tie this into the structure under here of this prairie, this tall grass prairie here in the valley of Lancaster Valley here in southeastern Nebraska, and that this is the home to the hominids. Behind me is the tree line. You can see that is that ravine that is coming through here, and as it progresses back this way, it goes farther into what we would have what I believe a karst system, that it was a cave. There'd be several caves back in there. So I just wanted to get another angle at this and show you what it looks like. And then of course behind me you can see the actual prairie, the tall grass prairie. And that is, again, would be the habitat for these hominid. They would have a cave system to keep them cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Of course, it would be cover from any humans to see them, so it works perfectly for them. And these cave systems are prevalent, type of karst systems are prevalent with the sandstone in this area. So I just wanted to highlight that. We had the marker that wasn't too far from here that you had seen also. But I wanted to kind of show you how that kind of ravine had flows this way and goes into an actual karst system. So again, this is Richard Soule with International Hominology in the world of the giants. I'm here in the riparian forest along the prairie in southeastern Nebraska, and I wanted to talk about the tall grass prairie. And if you can see behind me, there's actually forest, but back in there is the tall grass prairie. And this is an area that is important habitat for hominids, because if you go back a couple hundred years ago, this area you would have actually bison, you would have, this is a valley, and this tall grass prairie, you would have bison, you would have elk, deer, you'd have a variety of wildlife that would come here. About a mile from this location, there is a saline wetland, and so this valley consists of a great deal of saline wetlands and then tall grass rolling prairie. What the animals a couple hundred years ago, you had the Native Americans would be here, they would be camping along the creeks, and they would also be here because all the animals would be gathering. There was about an inch deep of salt deposits along the saline wetland area, and that type of mineral would be good for all of the animals that come. The deer, of course, and the bison, all of them would gather here to get that salt. And so they were all coming here to this valley. And if you can imagine a 10 to 12 foot high prairie grass back in these rolling hills here, a hominid could literally stand in that prairie grass and go in and grab, as a herd of bison come through, go in and grab an adult male, grab them by their horns, break their neck. A large hominid would be strong enough to literally break the neck of a bull bison, and that would be pretty easy pickings for them. The other thing I wanted to highlight about this area, there are a great deal of confluences of creeks that come into here from this valley, and they flow into the Salt Creek that then flows into the Missouri River to the east of here. So these types of water webs are real important when you're talking about also how the hominids travel. But I kind of wanted to highlight this prairie. If we can look, I'm kind of in the tree line, but if you look behind me, there is a good deal of prairie back in there. And I'll try to see if I can maybe get an opening here. But I had shot a video here just a month ago of a large individual walking through that prairie. This is private. It's basically private property back there, and so you cannot get in there. And I did film something down in a ravine moving through there, so I'll attach that to this video, or at least link it to it so you can see that. But the other thing I wanted to point out here, which is important in this sort of ecosystem, is the karst system that they would be living in, and that is underground cave systems that are wet and dry caves. There's Dakota sandstone underneath this prairie, and there is a large ravine back behind me. There's also a very large structure behind me if you look at this, and that structure would be indicating the home of the hominids who live here. But back in this area, there's a large ravine back behind all of this, and within that ravine would be the karst system cave entrance. I cannot get back in there, but I would love to get back in there and take a look at that, because it's just a rare opportunity to go into one of what I believe the home of one of these hominids. I cannot, if I trespass into this area, this is a part of a large prairie system, a corridor that is protected land, and so I'm not able to get back in there, but I am able to show you that this is at least a large marker here. If you can see on either side of me, those large branches are stuck into the ground, and they're broke off at the top and kind of create more of an asterisk, or almost a pyramid type shape, but they're all woven together, and they have there's a placement of the other supports there. This has been here for a number of years. I just had filmed this before, but I wanted to go back and talk about that ravine back behind So opening up your mind, I think, trying to get you to look at things a little differently as far as what is habitat for sea tonga, for hominids. And this is Richard Soule with the International Hominology in the World of the Giants.